A new app has been launched, which it's hoped will help users to consider how they can share their faith with their friends and family. The app asks users questions such as, how confident are you in telling people about your faith? Then it allows them to set goals and watch motivational videos to help inspire them to talk about the impact Jesus has had on their lives. This comes as some recent research shows that 9 out of 10 Christians want to talk about their faith, but admit that it's something that they struggle with. 43% of those surveyed said they lack friendships with non-Christians, and 25% fear rejection if they talk about their beliefs. The app is called I61M, and the founder, John Kirkby, is with me now. John, what a pleasure it is to have you on the program today. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for your interest in what we're trying to do. It's great.
Well, many of our listeners will recognize your name because you also founded Christians Against Poverty. Tell me your recent story. How did you get to the point of releasing this app?
Yeah, so it's approaching 25 years after founding CAP. Just a beautiful sense in God. It's time, and when the founders leave. So I handed it on to all the teams around the world, 5 countries, handed it on to them. They'd already, to be honest, they were already doing it. And then wonderful, wonderful journey to leave. CAP were kind, generous, honouring, releasing. And as I was given this wonderful space, which was a real gift from God, my first question was, God, have you got anything else for me to do? If you have, it's fine by me, but you're going to have to guide me. And sure enough, he did. So my passion is obviously, to sort of serve the poor, help the poorest people live a better life, but passionately about making sure that many people as possible, as I did, found Christ for the transformational difference he can make. So and at the same time, good mate of mine, Gavin Calver in the EA, did some research. You've just mentioned some of it. That just caught my attention, but probably more than anything, it caught my attention about me. So obviously we saw tens of thousands of people saved over 25 years of CAP. Me and my wife have always had a sense of caring for people, but we realized, we'd not been involved in leading anybody to Christ personally, myself, for over 5 years. So I basically started going, right, let's see what we can do. So I just began to work on just finding space in my life to, in essence, we now know what I was doing was sharing my life, i.e. really finding time to deepen new and existing friendships. And then as I did that, I realized that although obviously very, very confident speaking in Christian environments, done it for 30 years, I had to, growing confidence about sharing my faith to people who really good friends, but no idea in terms of my background or anything. It was really good, but I grew in confidence. And then the whole thing was then, as we realized there's so many people not doing this, we had to put something together that really gave everybody a chance. So the whole thing is designed for all your listeners. Literally, that's what we've done. It's been the hardest thing that we've done is spend a whole year developing a concept and then a whole year trialing it in 3-stage trials. And the issue is, can people who don't think they can share life, faith, and Jesus, can they use it? And it's a simple goal setting tool. So that's been the journey. I61, his idea, a bit amazed to be going again, but it's there's only 5 of us part-time. It's very, very effective and sort of good leverage on what we're seeing coming. So, but I'm sure we'll get on to what God's already doing.
Well, I love the feel of the app. I've been playing with it just before we had a conversation, and it just feels it's simple to use. It's easy. You can set the goals very easily. I think our listeners will potentially take to this if they want help with how to share their faith. Now, those statistics that we mentioned, they do present us with a real challenge because they reveal that the vast majority of us struggle to share our faith. Practically, how are you hoping this app will help?
Yeah, that it is completely practical. The whole thing is practical. We realize that basically most people, the vast majority of Christians, know they should share Jesus. Certainly somebody shared Jesus with most of us for us to find him. We all know that the Bible is explicit. You don't really have to do any work about people knowing they should and wanting to. I mean, what a joy. So we don't do any of that. So it's a very gentle thing. We're not, it's just very gentle. And we realized, again, this is my background in almost, I realized you look back, and I probably spent most of my life, even before I found Christ when I was 30, in sort of engaging with helping people do, probably in the world, it was perhaps what I wanted them to do. But certainly over the 30 years with CAP, it was just what other Christians wanted to do. Do they want to help the poor? Do they want to be evangelistic? So how do you do that? How do you create a system that creates the behavior that people want to do? So this is a perfect place for that. So yeah, bit of experience, bit of innovation, bit of God, who knows? But certainly that space I had to trial. And I realized that, goal setting is absolutely crucial. Basically, if more books and more teaching and more podcasts on sharing faith that you should, if they were going to do it, then we'd have revival, because there's so much. So I went the other way. I went, right, just presume everybody wants to, presume everybody knows they should, and let's see what we can do. So if you were to say, I want to do something, obviously a bit of a range, but most people probably do about 2 out of 10. Certainly if you sit in church and say, I'm going to go and share my faith with someone, it's probably 1 out of 10 will actually do it. We've all sat there going, yes, and then you don't. If you write it down, you write the person's name down, if you write what it is, if you date it, and then really crucial for Isaiah 61, which was the third stage trial, which really smashed it, is you've got to share it with others. You've got to do this in community. And basically we thought, right, so ultra mercilessly simple, James. Loads of people tell me things that won't, why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? Because I haven't. This has got to be used by everybody. And if you can think of something you want to do with it, you can do it because it's free. So we don't care. And it's been used already all different parts of the world. So we've kept it ruthlessly simple, ruthlessly focused on every one of us, the normal, the 8 or 9 out of 10, who basically know they should. And it just is simple. Set a goal. You've been on the app, you've seen it. We do a I61 live, which is fantastic, 30 minutes. We did one on Tuesday. I think we had about 80 people on it, from mainly from the UK, but also from other parts of the world. And we got 85% setting goals in 22 minutes. Amazing. And for many of those, it was the first time in years that they've lent into what it is to share their life, deepen new and existing friendships, share their faith, growing in confidence to share their story, and sharing Jesus, giving people an opportunity to discover more of him. So it's super simple, but it's pretty exciting, James, to be honest.
It is exciting. I'm loving hearing about it. And thank you so much for spending some time to talk about it with us today. I'd love to hear a bit about your story, because I understand that your story kind of matches in here. Do you remember who it was that first shared their faith with you?
Yeah, I mean, you get on the app. So basically, there's loads of resources there, but they're really quick. They're like 3 minutes. The one that is really great we use is the Why Share Life video. It's 3 minutes. And really, this is it. 30 odd years ago, desperate situation, struggling, marriage ending, huge debts, in poverty, heading seriously for poverty. 2 little girls, broken, name it. And one guy called Paul, who I had breakfast with yesterday. So there's the longevity of friendship. He basically, because when you're struggling, you retreat yourself and people retreat from you. So life is tougher and tougher. The tougher it is, the lonelier we are. And we're struggling. The world is creaking. More loneliness than ever before. It's an epidemic. But he basically reached out to me. He was interested in me. I certainly wasn't a project. I was someone who he clearly cared about. He just was great. He was just a friend. But of course, he was confident enough to tell me, and so he shared his life with me. He found some time for me. Nobody did that. So, and then he shared his faith. He just had a confidence to say, I'm a Christian, and this is my story. But it was built on the friendship, and I just felt cared for. And yeah, you can guess what then happened. He then said, would you like to know more about Jesus? And I went, go on then. And yeah, I went to a small church and heard about Jesus. And upon that moment, my life pivoted, and here we are 30 years later. My 2 girls, my second wife, Lizzie, took me and my girls on. Utter transformation. Honestly, I left school at 15. And yeah, just amazing. So he did do Share Life, Share Faith, Share Jesus. And many people have done it. But we want to help the people who've never done it because they're frightened of what to do. They're scared of being rejected. And we've just got to get out more. 44% of Christians have got no meaningful friendships. I mean, just say, every time I say that, I think, yeah, I was one of them. Meaningful friendships. We we're sort of too consumerite. We're consuming too much of the good stuff. Like the rich young ruler got loads of corn and loads of wheat, and he just put it in barns. Well, I felt like that. I had all these amazing parts of my life: family, grandkids, church, ministry, walk with God, all stored up. And I just thought, if I can't find a bit of space to get a bit of seed out there and find some time for other people and do it with a heart that wants, I want to, and I've got some great friends now. It's so good. So I am Isaiah 61 boy. And yeah, we've already seen 4 people. This is in the trials. 4 people using the app who basically work their way through. You can join in where you want on it. There's no restrictions. You can have as many goals as you want, as often as you want. Really clear, really easy. And they've seen 4 people find faith already, and that's just in trials. And we were averaging in the trials about 3 goals a day being set, because we don't know about people's goals. That's theirs. And one day last week and one day, I think we broke the record on Tuesday. We had 45 goals set the week before, and we had, I think, just reached 50 2 days ago. We'll find out at the end of the week. So somehow, somewhere across the UK, 50 people for perhaps the first time for a long time said, I'm going to go and I'm going to invite my mate for a coffee. I'm going to go and see my neighbour and have a cup of tea. I'm going to let my friend at work know I'm a Christian. I'm going to let someone know I go to church. So it's simple goals, simple, gentle, leaning in to doing what we all need to do, and we all know we should, but lovely, gracious, kind, goal setting, tracking it, pending. You can arc out, you'll see it. Simple, 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 but whoa, boy, oh boy, what has God done? Because this is on its way. You can use it anywhere. We stop answering questions about can I do, people say, can I? So people will be listening and go, oh, can I bring it into my midweek group at church? Yes. Can I use it with my ministry group, helping the poor? Yes. Oh, could we do it before church? Yes. After church? Yes. In church? Yes. Midweek groups? Yes. Set your own group up? Yes. Do it with a group of friends at work? Yes. But you can come onto I61 Live, where we do it live about every couple of weeks. It's going to be every week soon. So that's 30 minutes, and you'll see how it's done, set a goal. But the idea is to gain confidence, to then go and share it with others, so that you can kind of do it in relationship and community. So bonkers, James, to be honest. I mean, seriously, I've seen some stuff, and masses of partners, all my mates. Yeah, obviously they'll talk to me on the phone, but this is not because of me. This is because they know there's an elephant in the church, there's an elephant in the kingdom. And the big elephant is we are not sharing Jesus. And if we don't do something soon and change that and change the dial of the UK church, where are we going to be in 2 generations, James?
A really important question to end on there. Can I just recommend the app? It's called I61M. So type in the numbers 61M, and you'll find it on your app store. John Kirkby, what a pleasure to speak to you today. Thank you very much for being with us.
Cheers, James. All the best to the team, and well done for what you do.